Coupe SUVs have been a popular segment ever since BMW put a swept back on its X6. Personally, I didn't see the attraction. SUV handling with the practicality of a hatchback, but there are a lot of people who see things more half glass full than I do, including the folk at Renault who have bought this, the new Arkana swept-back SUV to the Australian market. Does the Renault Arkana satisfy the demand for a relatively affordable Euro-styled SUV with good drivability, practicality and comfort? Well, that's a big ask. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into its design and features and then take it for a drive. But first, have you subscribed to the Wheels YouTube channel yet? Just click on the red subscribe tag below for more in-depth reviews like this. The Arkana joins the Captur and the Koleos in Renault's local SUV range. It bridges a gap in terms of pricing and size. The Arkana range starts with the Zen, priced at $33,990. Then there's the mid-spec Intense that we have here for $37,490, which is $3,500 less than the range-topping RS line. That price range puts it in direct competition with the likes of the Peugeot 2008, Skoda Karoq and Volkswagen T-Roc. Each Arkana variant is covered by a 5-year warranty, 5-year cap price servicing and 5-year roadside assist. Now, while the Arkana is indirectly a rival of the more expensive BMW X2, to me it looks more like the bigger X4 with that real swept back appearance and that sort of high gangly look, which looks a bit odd at first, but it's grown on me quite a bit. But I can't say it's seductive like Renault would have you believe. Having a higher ride height makes it better for riding on rougher roads and gravel, and Renault have sort of recognised this, and what they've done is they've put really good underbody protection at the front and rear. Being on stilts has its advantages, as well as giving it a good stance on the road. It's easy to get in and out of, and of course to load things in and out of the boot. The front end is unmistakably Renault with the big diamond badge, a grille that's shared with the Captur and Megane, and the unmistakable fang-like C-shaped DRLs. It looks quite ungainly from the rear though, but the LED strip taillights flanking the diamond Renault badge add a sense of elegance. Exterior garnish on the Intense includes chrome trim highlights and dual colour 18-inch alloy wheels. I reckon it looks pretty good, but I'd be keen to see what you think in the comments below. Spent $3,500 more over the entry-level Zen on this Intense variant, and you get quite a bit of kit, not least the premium leather and suede seats that are quite comfortable and also have heating and ventilation. There's also a 7-inch digital driver's display, which looks quite fancy and can change colours and stuff depending on what driving mode you're in, and that can be upgraded to a full digital dash if that's what you so desire for extra cost. You also get a bigger touchscreen which controls infotainment, sat-nav that comes with this car, and also of course Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But it's also the centre to control your what's called MySense, which controls all your drive functions like sport and eco, but also does things like tailor your ambient lighting and even the digital gauge cluster. To access MySense, you simply press this little asterisk button below the screen, which you can do while you're driving as well, and then you can select your driving mode, whether you want Eco, Sport or MySense, which is sort of normal mode. But if you want to edit things, say you want to make the steering a bit stiffer, you can do that and select Sport, and you can do that without then changing the drive settings. And then to simply go to Sport, you just press that, or you can cycle through that asterisk button. The heated leather steering wheel feels nice and chunky. It's got buttons well laid out for cruise control and all that sort of thing. If you want to control the audio, there's a little stalk here that all Renaults have, and you sort of have to get used to it using muscle memory, but you do that soon enough. And there are paddle shifters as well if you want a bit more manual driving. The elegant cabin design is similar to other Renault models, but while it's very presentable, it isn't exactly revolutionary. But it does feel fresh, and it's quite comfortable with relaxing seats and climate-controlled air conditioning with air purifier. The front of the cabin has good elbow room, with driver and passenger being separated by the centre console, which has quite a bit of storage. Apparently there's 26 litres of storage throughout the cabin of this, but you won't find much of it in this centre console, which is one of the smaller I've seen in an SUV. The rear seats are comfortable enough, but it is pretty compact in here. It is a small SUV after all. I'm an average height, this is my driving position, and even sitting here, my legs are pretty hard up against the seats, even though they're chiseled to make more room. But it's a pretty good place to be. There's plenty of stuff for rear seat passengers. You've got, map pockets, a couple of USB sockets, door bins to put your bottles in, and of course the customary fold down center armrest with cup holders. The roofline doesn't hinder boot space and is bigger than some mid-size SUVs including the Mazda CX-5 and Mitsubishi Outlander. The split level floor is 970mm squared and will easily hold a couple of large suitcases and some. It can be also height adjustable for easy loading with a flat bottom or deeper load area to maximise space. The rear seats fold separately with a 60-40 split to provide about 1,700mm between the boot lip and the front seats. Safety-wise, the Arkana is based on the Nissan Renault Mitsubishi Alliance's new CFM-B platform, which also underpins the Captur and Nissan Juke. As well as providing better ride and handling qualities, it allows for more active safety features, such as AEB with cyclist and pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, traffic sign recognition, blind spot warning, and adaptive cruise control with stop and go. Other standard driver assist features include auto high beam headlights, surround parking monitors, and hands-free Easy Park Assist, with the Intense bringing rear cross traffic alert and speed limiter that will limit your speed based on the traffic sign recognition. So, what's it like to drive? Well, each Arkana comes with a 1.3 litre turbocharged petrol engine that's been co-developed with Mercedes-Benz and is found in the A-Class. In the Arkana it produces 115 kilowatts and 263 newton metres. It's actually the same engine found in the Captur, but they have slightly different tunes. And like the Captur, it's paired with a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. That's a bit laggy when you put the foot down, particularly from a standing start, but it's not quite as laggy as the Captur, which weighs about 23 kilograms more. Selecting sport mode then gives you that bit of a push along brake, increasing the rev straight away, so you're already sort of closer to that sweet spot. Put the foot down and happily take it up to redline before kicking down. The engine does sound a bit thrashy at times, and when you do take off from a standing start there could be a bit of torque steer, but over the whole it's pretty composed, and then once you get going it feels quite refined. One thing I really like about the Arkana is the steering. It feels really responsive and tight. There's no play in it at all, and it really makes this a fun car to drive on roads like this. Of course, if you do want it looser, you can select a comfort mode for city driving or to make parking a bit easier, but you know, most of the time I'm more than happy to have it in this setting. The steering is backed up by really surprisingly good handling considering the ride height. There's really good balance even on hairpins like this. The front end feels really composed and you don't feel any weight on either wheel when you're coming into a bend. There is a bit of body roll, but that's to be expected with a high riding car like this. But on the whole, it's just surprisingly good fun, and there's great traction through the Kumho tyres. The balance between comfort and handling in this suspension, it's sort of unremarkable in that you don't notice it, you know. I can't say I've ever really felt a jarring bump on all the different roads I've driven on. You know, it's not the smoothest gliding suspension there is, but it really is an excellent jack of all trades. Another thing I like about the Arkana is road noise is pretty low. This is quite a coarse road we're on now, so you can hear the noise coming through the wheels, but it's not that bad even on a freeway, and it's quite a windy day today, and wind noise is surprisingly good in this thing as well. That's probably helped by that sleek body, which sort of helps aerodynamics, and that also helps the Arkana achieve a pretty low 6 litre per 100 kilometre fuel consumption. This really feels more like a Megane than a SUV, and if you've ever driven the Koleos, you'd be quite amazed that a Renault SUV is capable of such an exciting drive. I was really taken by the Arkana and quite surprised just how much fun it was to drive, and I reckon it's one of the best driving SUVs in its price range. As you saw with the new Captur, the CFM-B platform represents a huge dynamic improvement over previous Renault SUVs, and the Arkana takes that a step further. It's a handy SUV too, and that balance between practicality and driver enjoyment could see it do relatively well in Australia.